Hello and welcome to Marketing as a Foreign Language. This gorgeous Wednesday, September 9th, the temperature in Las Vegas, Nevada is much better than it was a couple weeks ago, down into the 70s and 80s. Because I know you care about that, on the show today, Mark Zuckerberg, Facebook algorithm isn't trying to fuel online rage. Again, from Zuckerberg, Facebook is not a right-wing echo chamber. We'll dive into that. From entrepreneur.com, here's how you can put your Twitter marketing on autopilot. From Social Media Today, Pinterest outlines recent improvements to feed ranking and focus on video content. And last but not least, Instagram adds suggested reels display in main feed, launches monthly reel trend insight in their attempt to fight against the TikTok monster. Marketing as a Foreign Language begins this very second. As always, if you are here for the live show, 10:30 a.m. Pacific Standard Time on YouTube, type in Send It Rising Internet Marketing. Boom, you're there. Leave me a comment. Love comments. I can answer your questions live on the show. Mark Zuckerberg, Facebook algorithm. The social network CEO admits that partisan content has high engagement. This is an article from CNET. Dale Smith is the author. Link in the description. Facebook CEO Mark Zuckerberg says it's wrong to suggest the social media platform is designed to enrage people. In an interview with Axios on HBO, Zuckerberg admitted that partisan content on Facebook often gets high engagement. Shocker, such as likes or comments. You know what? We all have teams in life. I get it. I like the blue team. I like the red team. I like this football team. Your football team sucks. There's something about the human experience. Even when I'm watching a game, doesn't matter what it is, I'll pick a side. Why do we do this? We just do. We pick a side and then we run with it. And apparently that picking of sides is, for lack of a better word, attractive enough. It has enough magnetism to have us then hit the like button, hit the share button. We love having our tribes as people. I would need an evolutionary biologist to dive into the ancient reasons as to why that might be the case. So Zuckerberg said that doesn't account for everything people are seeing and reading and learning about on Facebook. So it sounds like Mark is going to try to make the argument that, yeah, it may get a ton of likes and shares, and the echo chamber might be part of the puzzle, but perhaps not the whole thing. Quote, I think sometimes there's a fine line between an important level of high energy around an important cause and something that can kind of tilt over into harm. Okay, I suppose that's true. He said during the interview published Tuesday, he added that Facebook, quote, gives individuals more power and lets people find and follow voices that resonate more with their life experiences. Yeah, this is also true. His comments come on the heels of a wave of backlash. Whoa. Does anyone have a standing desk? I do. And from time to time, it doesn't click into its highest setting and then just falls over, which was what happened just this moment. His comments come on the heels of a wave of backlash directed at the company, including from Facebook's own employees. Ooh, that has got to hurt. In May, workers at Facebook staged a virtual walkout, to protest the company's decision to leave up a post by U.S. President Donald Trump that they say could incite violence. So, man, look, I own a company. I'm a business owner. So my first kind of gut reaction is to see it from the business owner's perspective, which is why I have to actively see the other side. So if I'm a worker at Facebook and I feel like a post could incite violence and I can't do anything about it, yeah, I would be upset. So I get that. In July, more than 1,000 companies, including big brands such as the North Face and Ben & Jerry's, vowed to stop purchasing advertising. There was a huge boycott, and as we covered in a previous episode, it didn't really do anything. The boycott was a pittance in comparison to the total spend that Facebook receives from businesses. So the larger companies stop their Facebook spend, but small and mid-sized businesses account for a huge percentage of Facebook's total revenue. And so it didn't really do anything. So to continue on this Zuckerberg train, we have another article from theguardian.com. Mark Zuckerberg, Facebook is not a right-wing echo chamber. Social media chief says it's wrong to think that the site is driven by conservatives, though he says they post its most engaged content. This reminds me of something I recently saw on Twitter where I forget what the metric was, but it had to do with most shares, I want to say, most retweets, and it was definitely dominated by Mr. Ben Shapiro, who is on the right. Back to the article. Facebook's founder, Mark Zuckerberg, has said he hopes his social network will not be effectively destroyed, effectively destroy society as we know it. Zuckerberg also said it's, quote, just wrong to consider that Facebook has driven or is driven by conservatives in a new interview. Quote, I don't think that the service is a right-wing echo chamber, Zuckerberg told Axios on HBO in an interview published Wednesday. I've got to check out that interview. Everyone can use their voice and find media they trust that reflects the opinions and life experiences they're having. So do I agree with Mr. Zuckerberg? In my experience, it is not a right-wing echo chamber, but I have a fairly moderate political stance. So I assume that the algorithm definitely wants to have you liking and sharing as often as possible. And if you are very passionate about politics, then yeah, it would make sense to me that you're going to like and share a lot of either left or right-wing content. And it is possible that folks on the right are more inclined to share. So, quote, I have a little more confidence in democracy than that. This is Zuckerberg again, and I hope my confidence isn't misplaced. He hopes his confidence isn't misplaced. That is confidence inspiring, he said, adding, what we do, and I think a lot of what the internet does overall, is give individuals more power. Yeah, we get it. It's true that partisan content often has kind of a higher percent of people engaging with it, commenting on it, liking it, Zuckerberg said, but I think it's important to differentiate that from broadly what people are seeing and reading and learning about on our service. I don't know about that. Also in the Axios interview, the Facebook chief said he would not remove anti-vaxxer posts, even as the leading virus experts express cautious optimism that a COVID-19 vaccination may become available late this year or early next year. Wouldn't that be nice? Quote, if someone is pointing out a case where a vaccine caused harm, or that they're worried about it, that's a difficult thing to say from my perspective that you shouldn't be allowed to express at all, Zuckerberg said. But he denied that Facebook's algorithms are designed to push viewpoints that are going to kind of enrage people somehow. And that's what we try to show people. That's not actually how our systems work, he added. I don't think it's based on the enraging of people. I think that's probably inaccurate. But I would say that for every person that it enrages, it energizes someone else. So this is just the nature of the reality we find ourselves in, is it not? Wherein the things that are highly energetic to one person really make other people angry. Zuckerberg reasoned instead that many people in the country are very exercised, and I think, frankly, for a lot of good reasons. We have real issues. There's a fine line between an important level of high energy around an important issue and something that can kind of tilt over into causing harm. All right, Mr. Zuckerberg, best of luck attempting to continually police the internet. That sounds quite difficult. Here's how you can put your Twitter marketing on autopilot from entrepreneur.com. August. All right. Keeping up to date with Twitter can often be an impossible task for small businesses. Doing it manually will make your business Twitter account fall behind. Putting your Twitter marketing on autopilot will make it a bit easier to stay engaged. That sounds like a really irritating thing. Autopilot doesn't make sense to me. What makes sense to me is using something where you can post, a month's worth of content, a week's worth of content in one sitting, spend 30 to 45 minutes creating content for the week or the month, and then move on with your day. This makes sense to me, but autopilot marketing doesn't. Let's see if I'm wrong. Clinch Tweet, this seems like a sponsored article, is an autopilot marketing system that carries out all of your Twitter marketing activities automatically, really. Whether you're trying to increase the followers of your account, the number of retweets you get, or elevate the likes on your tweets, Clinch Tweet makes it, well, a cinch. No, it's Cinch Tweet. Great. With a huge array of automated tweeting, affiliate, and e-commerce tools, Cinch Tweet works proactively within your existing marketing structure to help grow your brand. I don't get it. How is that automatically? That doesn't make sense to me. Here's some of the tools. Post scheduling. That's not automatic. That's not new. That's not like an AI is trying to discern my marketing message using the internet to find content and then restructuring that content. That would be automatic in my mind, not post scheduling. That's everyone knows that. Schedule as many future posts as you like. Well, whoop-de-doo. Bulk message sender. Send direct messages to your followers in one click. Yeah, kind of interesting. Auto engagement. Automatically follow accounts, retweet, and like trending tweets relevant to your niche. That right there, I am pretty sure is against Twitter's terms of service. You're not allowed to use bots to follow accounts. There's something called follower churn, where people will follow a bunch of people and then unfollow and then follow a bunch of people. Because every time you follow someone, there's like well, it depends, 15, 25% chance that they'll follow you back. And if you follow, unfollow, you can build a base that way. But every single day, I imagine how many fake accounts are doing that. Hundreds of thousands, millions maybe. Maybe more than millions. Promotion and integration. Promote products from your Shopify, Covert Commission, or GVZoo accounts. What? On your Twitter, and cloak your affiliate links anywhere you post them. That has no value to me. Analytics. Track your success. Whoop-de-doo. This to me is like an ad. And I don't think it's that interesting. Moving right along, Pinterest outlines recent improvements to feed ranking and focus on video content. This from Social Media Today. Andrew Hutchinson writes, if you haven't been paying attention, Pinterest is on the rise. Yes, it is. One of the things I like to look at with regret is Pinterest stock. Pinterest stock. If I misspell it, does it still show up? Yeah. Ooh. Drop. Look at that. Okay, for those of you that can't see, it doesn't matter. For those of you who can't see the screen, in July, huge jump, $25 to $35. Year to date, if you had purchased on March 17th for $12.65, you'd be sitting at $35, tripling pretty much the amount. I've been bullish on Pinterest for quite a while. This obviously is not financial advice, but this is simply someone who's been following this stock for a while. Pinterest is a big deal. Pinterest is a great way to build links. It's the second largest referrer of traffic behind Facebook. And don't neglect it in your marketing because, again, it's a great way to build links. Every time someone repins a photo of yours, if that photo links back to your website, they have effectively grown or replicated that link. And we've earned tens of thousands of links from Pinterest. So that growth has been exacerbated by the COVID-19 lockdowns, with Pinterest becoming a replacement for the shopping mall in some respects. And regular pinners are definitely coming to the platform in a buying mindset. According to Pinterest, some 90% of active pinners use the platform to plan for or make purchases, while the app also sees far higher purchase intent than other social networks. So not only are people more likely to click on a pin to see where that pin came from, which is to say they refer traffic to websites, but they have a high purchase intent. So when people on Pinterest are kind of browsing, they're interested in buying. So if you haven't checked out what's happening on Pinterest, it may well be worth a look. And late last week, Pinterest provided a few extra pointers for pin marketers as part of an overview of how it's improved its home feed ranking system. In the post on the Pinterest engineering blog, Pinterest outlines how it's updated its system to show more relevant pin results to each user. This is from Pinterest. Quote, home feed is one of the most important surfaces at Pinterest that drives a significant portion of engagement from the more than 400 million plus people who visit each month. From a business standpoint, the home feed is also a revenue driver where most ads are shown to pinners. Therefore, the way we surface personalized, engaging, and inspiring recommendations in home feed is critical. In order to cater to this, Pinterest has revised its system to improve the relevance of its recommendations. So, all right, we get it. Pinterest is a big deal. You should not neglect it. We talk a lot about TikTok nowadays, simply because they may be bought or sold, but I don't think we give enough love to Pinterest and LinkedIn, two platforms that are definitely part of a good marketing plan in 2020. Final article, Social Media Today. Instagram adds suggested Reels display in main feed, launches monthly Reels trend insight. So again, TikTok is looking shaky. Instagram has created something called Reels. And now they're adding something called suggested reels, which are basically an attempt to take market share from TikTok. Andrew Hutchison, Social Media Today. Can Instagram make reels happen and use it as a tool to curb the rapid growth of rival video app TikTok? Despite seemingly lukewarm initial response to the option, Instagram's still looking at ways to maximize the usage of its TikTok clone functionality. And after adding a new Reels tab to the main screen for users in India last week, Instagram's now trying out a few more ways to boost Reels exposure and get more people using the option. First off, Instagram started adding a display of suggested Reels in the main feed of some users. Well, that's interesting. That would make sense to me, trying to get people into this kind of TikTok-ish environment. So again, Facebook is owned by Instagram. Instagram is owned by Facebook. And so it's kind of a international battle going on here because ByteDance, which is the company that owns TikTok, is a Chinese-based business. And a lot of folks in the military are unable to use it because there are concerns about privacy, about user data. So really, this is a battle of nations. As we covered in a previous episode, the Australian government is attempting to get paid from Facebook for its publishers, its news publishers, trying to get a cut. So we've got the Australian government, we've got the Chinese Communist Party, we've got the United States government, and individual companies all kind of playing in this space, trying to grab market share. It's interesting to me that people in the United States that use TikTok, which is 50 million per day, 100 million every month, which is basically 1 out of 3 Americans logs onto TikTok, according to TikTok, playing in this kind of global environment wherein the walls have really sort of gone virtual, right? So many of the apps that we think are ubiquitous around the world are banned in China. So Google, YouTube, Facebook, etc. They simply banned them and said, too bad. So interesting that the government of the United States has decided to do something similar, or saying you at least have to sell it to us, which you would assume would considerably lower its value if you are threatening to ban it. So back to the article. As you can see in this example shared by influencer marketing strategist Lindsay Gamble, the new suggested Reels listing appears between feed posts, highlighting some of the most relevant clips. We get it. There are real trends. And it goes on and on. Alrighty. So in the news today, real quick, if you want to reach out to us, info@senditrising.com, info@senditrising.com. That's info@senditrising.com. That's the email address if you want to chat about marketing or whatever. I'm the owner of Send It Rising Internet Marketing. I never say that on the show because I really don't like listening to shows where they self-promote all the time. I find it very annoying. But that is your little self-plug for the day. Join us 10:30 a.m. Pacific Standard Time. If you want to check out the live show, just punch Send It Rising into YouTube. So in summary, Mark Zuckerberg facing algorithm isn't trying to fuel online rage, but again, online rage and shareability are two sides of the same coin as far as I'm concerned. And Facebook being considered a right-wing echo chamber, I suppose it is if you like and share right-wing content. Or your friends and family tend to do that a lot. I would argue that the same is true on the left. Is there something about right-wing content or people that are more conservative that are more willing to share? That is entirely possible. And that could be tilting the scales of shareability on the platform. Entrepreneur.com, here's how you can put your Twitter marketing on autopilot. Hey, Entrepreneur.com, how about you don't just try to sell me this cinch tweet, which I think is not that impressive. I know a ton of pieces of software that do things very similar to this. I'm also not a big fan of automatically following accounts. I think that is by and large a bad idea. Social Media Today, Pinterest outlining recent improvements to feed rankings, focusing on video content. Don't neglect Pinterest. It's a big deal. Video content on Pinterest obviously is the next evolution for the platform. So don't be surprised when Instagram, TikTok, and Pinterest are very video centric. I think the next evolution is going to be 3D environments. So I imagine going to Pinterest and like browsing someone's pins, walking around a gallery of their pins in a 3D environment. I think within the next 10 years, we're all going to have rooms. Well, by we're all, I mean many of us will have rooms in our house dedicated specifically to walking around 3D virtual environments. I think strapping the phone to our head is going to be seen like the Zach from Saved by the Bell suitcase cell phone, which is obviously stupid and outdated, which is to say that I think we're going to have rooms in our house with very lightweight sort of VR experiences. Google Glass, I think, is going to come out with that lens that does a Bluetooth sync. And we're going to have glasses that look like the glasses I'm wearing right now, where you can forget about them being on your face. And that's coming up. So imagine 3D environments for social media in the next 5 to 10 years. And then Instagram adding suggested reels. This is part of the international attack or competition, one could say, about the dollar bills, really, at the end of the day. Who's going to get the market share? I don't know, but we shall see. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for swinging on by today for the show. We'll be back 10:30 a.m. Pacific Standard Time tomorrow. Same time, same place. For everyone listening to us on the podcast, thank you very much for downloading it. We very much appreciate it. And if you want to swing by the live show, ask a question. We'd love to hear your voice. My name is Kellen Kautzman, and I genuinely appreciate y'all swinging on by. That's the show for today. Talk to you tomorrow.